All right, let's dive into one of the most powerful story blueprints ever created, the hero's journey. But we're going to do more than just explain it. We're going to ask a really provocative question. What if this celebrated path to glory is actually a trap?
Just think about that for a second. All the epic tales you grew up with, the stories that basically taught us what courage and transformation look like. What if their very structure, the roadmap they give us for a meaningful life, isn't designed to set us free, but to keep us in our place?
You know these names, right? Of course you do. The farm boy who becomes the Jedi, the orphan who saves the wizarding world, the little hobbit who carries a ring to the fires of Mordor. They're all different, but they all walk the exact same fundamental path, a path that has a name.
It's called the monomyth, or as most of us know it, the hero's journey. The brilliant mythologist Joseph Campbell is the one who really put it on the map. He saw this pattern everywhere, in myths and legends all across the world. A hero goes out into the unknown, they face some kind of massive crisis, and they come back home, totally changed, ready to heal their community.
The structure is this really beautiful, satisfying circle, isn't it? You leave your normal life, you go out and face your demons, and then you come back to make things right. It's a powerful story about growing up, being brave, and serving the greater good. It feels right. But that feeling? That's exactly where the critique begins.
So let's flip this whole thing on its head. What if that sense of satisfaction, that feeling of comfort, is the entire problem? This is where a pretty radical critique comes in. One that sees this whole journey as something a lot more dangerous.
One critique calls the hero's journey saccharine poison. Wow. Think about that for a moment. It's something that tastes sweet, that feels good going down, but is actually making you weaker from the inside out. Something that keeps you happy and content while secretly crushing your true potential.
So here's the case against the hero. The argument is that this journey isn't a test of strength, it's a recipe for comfort for people who are afraid. Its real purpose is to teach you how to fit back into the herd, not how to break away from it. In this view, the hero isn't a lion, they're a sheep in the pasture. And that wise old mentor? Just a crutch for the weak-willed. And maybe the biggest charge of all, its goal is just to put things back the way they were, to restore the old world, not to create a new one.
This critique goes so far as to call the hero's journey a morality tale for the last man. Now, in Nietzsche's philosophy, the last man is the ultimate couch potato of the soul. He's someone who only wants comfort and safety and avoids risk or creativity at all costs. The argument here is that the hero's journey is a story for that person, not for the innovators, the artists, the creators.
Okay, so if the hero's journey is a trap, what's the alternative? Well, that brings us to a totally different model for life, the creator's path. And this one isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about forging something the world has never seen before.
And right out of the gate, the rules of the game are completely different. Forget about dragons, dark lords, or evil empires. On the creator's path, the biggest, baddest enemy you will ever face lives inside your own head.
So meet your main opponent, the spirit of gravity. This isn't some monster you can slay with a sword. It's a feeling. It's that soul-crushing weight of futility, that little voice whispering, "What's the point?" It's the heavy, deep urge to just give up. It's sometimes personified as a squat little dwarf that's constantly trying to pull your soul down to the ground.
Now, to walk this path, you have to face three major antagonists. We've just met the main boss, the spirit of gravity. But you also have to defeat two of its top lieutenants, the Shadow and the Soothsayer.
First up, there's the Shadow. And you know this voice. We all do. It's that internal whisper that's always telling you, don't bother. Take the shortcut. Just stay comfortable. It's the part of you that's always rooting for the path of least resistance. And then you've got the Soothsayer. This isn't an internal voice. This one comes from the outside. It's that toxic, cynical belief you hear from the world around you that life is meaningless and all your hard work is ultimately for nothing. It is the ultimate party pooper.
So how in the world do you fight these things? Well, the creator's path is a crucible, and it has 4 incredibly demanding steps. First, you have to actively reject the comfortable, easy values of the crowd. Second, you have to conquer your own inner pessimism. Third, you stop looking for meaning out in the world, and you become a creator of your own meaning. And finally, the hardest part of all, you have to affirm your entire existence, the good and the bad.
And this leads us to the final exam. It's Nietzsche's famous idea of the eternal recurrence. Picture this.
Someone asks you if you would be willing to live your exact life, every single joy, every single heartbreak, every mistake, on a loop, forever and ever. The goal isn't just to be okay with that idea, the goal is to shout yes to it, joyfully. That is the ultimate test of the creator's path.
This table just lays out the difference so perfectly. I mean, look at this. The hero's goal, restore balance. The creator's, to create entirely new values. The hero fights some external monster or chaos. The creator's enemy is that internal spirit of gravity. And the outcome? The hero's journey ends when they return to the herd. But for the creator, the path never really ends. It's a state of perpetual becoming, always growing, always creating.
And the person who can pass that final test, who can say yes to their life on repeat, they become a yesayer. They say a big yes to all of it. They don't wish away the struggle, they don't wish away the pain because they understand that all of it, the good, the bad, and the ugly is what forged them into who they are.
And here is the most beautiful twist. The person who goes through this incredible internal battle doesn't come out the other side all grim and serious. By conquering that spirit of gravity, the philosopher actually becomes a dancer. They shed that soul-crushing weight and learn to embrace lightness, laughter, and a profound sense of creative joy.
So that leaves us with one final question to think about. When you look at the world today, with all of its massive, unprecedented challenges, which path is more valuable? Which kind of person do we need more right now? The hero who restores the balance, or the creator who has the courage to shatter the old and build something entirely new?